Hi everyone, and welcome again to my audiovisual channel. My name is Gabriela Handel, and I'm a draftsman, but today in this video, I'm going to talk to you about meat. That's right, meat. Because as I posted, I don't even know how long ago, I think I tried to do it about a year ago, as I tried to do it about a year into the meat eating experiment. So this is an update, or I think that one was supposed to be kind of like an experience report, but this one's an update because I have kept doing it, basically kept doing it. So this one's a little bit long because I have taken notes. It's a little bit more organized than the other one where I was winging it. I took notes for this, like I just said. My organizational capabilities have improved a little bit. And so I've taken notes. The video is going to be time-stamped with just what I'm covering in the video per chapter, and in the timestamps of chapters. So let's start with what I'm going to cover in this video. So first, looking at my notes, why did I start eating only meat? How long have I been doing it? The dietary changes I tried before, carnivory, what symptoms were lifted, made less uncomfortable, issues I didn't know I had and didn't know could be resolved, some unexpected things. That's a chapter, yes. Symptoms which are still present and why I think they are. Symptoms which stopped and started again. What have I eaten on this way of eating? What have I stopped eating? Reintroductions. Things that aren't animal derived, which are, quote unquote, allowed. External factors which may not relate to ingested food. Not food ingested things which make everything better. Supplements I've tried, currently experimenting with, and temporary things. Okay, so let's start. Those are going to be the chapters, by the way. And you can find them in the video description, or if you hover over your YouTube video screen and you hover on kind of like the player bar with the circle, you can see kind of like the sections there, and you can, if you hover over the sections, you'll see the name of the chapter and you can skip to the beginning of it. I do that a lot. Not that much, but I do it. Anyway, so why did I start eating only meat? Or really not only meat, but just carnivorously, meaning all animal meats and animal-derived products like milk, cheese, eggs, bacon, that type of stuff. And the only reason for which I started was because I have seborrheic dermatitis, which is, I have it mainly on my scalp, but you can get it on other parts. You can get it on your face, and I don't remember where else. And you kind of go through like an outbreak type situation where you have valleys and peaks, and in the peaks you are it itches, it's red, it doesn't scab exactly, but you get chunks of dandruff, because that's kind of what seborrheic dermatitis is. It's like a jacked up dandruff. Dandruff is supposedly a non-inflammatory version, or maybe rather it's seborrheic dermatitis is an inflammatory version of dandruff. Anyway, that's exclusively the only reason for which I started. Eating carnivorously, or zero carb if you want to call it, is notorious for putting into remission skin conditions, autoimmune conditions, Remission meaning, I mean, I looked up the definition of remission, and apparently it's something that has kind of like the condition has gone away for 2 weeks or something. And I think it's actually used as you just got rid of it permanently, it seems. And it looks like people are indeed able to resolve their skin conditions like psoriasis and eczema, for example, eating carnivorously or zero carb. And so that's why I started. Okay, next. How long have I been doing it? I think it's been just over 2 years. And yes, next. Dietary changes I tried before carnivory because I've been trying things for a really long time, just over the years. Years and years. I don't really know when did I start. I might have started just under 10 years ago, like actually trying to make more significant changes than just eating more vegetables or something. So the very first thing I remember doing was removing all grains, which in just all the grains that you can think of, beer, beans, rice, pasta, nuts, just everything. And really what I did was just not have them as often, and that was still helpful, just in general. I remember when I had just barely started to try that specific thing, not having grains, I went 2-3 days without having had any grains, and my abdomen was like super flat. And I didn't know that I had any kind of bloating situation, which I guess I did, but whatever. The thing is that I did this for a few years, not having any grains. Then, and so no grains, mostly no grains, really. I would still have them maybe like once, twice a week, something like that. And that was still helpful. Not with the dermatitis or anything, but the abdominal flattening was certainly interesting as a obvious change. And at least I didn't note anything else. Then afterwards, and after this, the timeline is completely fucking murky. I don't remember how long I tried this for, or when I tried it necessarily. But then what I did was to only eat meat and vegetables, chocolate without any kind of lecithins, and either chocolate without any kind of lecithins or making the chocolate at home. That's what I tried next. No change. And then after that, I tried having more beef with everything else the same. So I was having beef with every meal. So like ground beef with breakfast, ground beef with, it would just be the protein that I was eating. And finally, and I remember this doing for 1 month before having started straight carnivory. So maybe like 2 years and 4 months ago. I did for a month, only meat and fruit. So the goal for that, because I mean, sugar cravings have always been an issue for me. So the goal was to just, for my meals, just have meat, any kind of meat. And for whenever I had any kind of sugar craving or for dessert, I would have fruit, which I think at least to some extent is considered now animal-based, Paul Saladino type thing. That did nothing either for me. Okay, next. What symptoms were lifted, made less uncomfortable, issues I didn't know I had and didn't know could be resolved, unexpected things? And that's when I started, this is when I started having only animal stuff. So just whatever meat, butter, jerky, tallow, milk, heavy cream, cheese. I've never been much on like the more processed type stuff, so I would have some deli meat, but I'm not really that crazy about it to begin with, so I don't have like Vienna sausages like Dr. Ken Berry says. I've never had that. I think those are nasty as hell. I never had those as part of the overall thing, but kind of just stuff that I would fry myself over the skillet and bacon. I also, because I still had cravings, I would have powdered heavy cream or powdered butter with bacon. It was delicious. Delicious. Perfect for helping with the cravings while I was kind of transitioning, because I didn't wean, by the way. I just started. I would not have been able to wean. Okay. Symptoms lifted, made less uncomfortable. Issues I didn't know I had and didn't know could be resolved, unexpected things. Cravings became calmer, surprisingly. Just, I would say maybe by the end of the first month, or maybe even the third week, third week, they were a little bit different already. They were calmer. And like I said, I was managing them anyway with the powdered heavy cream and powdered butter, which, by the way, again, delicious. Really good. Perfect for curbing that and helping me handle them while I'm transitioning. And then after that, especially when I was doing only beef, because I did do that for a little while, so that's lion diet, just beef, salt, and water. I did that for about 3 months. Very forgettable. Very forgettable. I remember that was for the first year. I did it for maybe like 3-4 months. And I would have a thought kind of, maybe at some point in the week, I'd be like, I would kind of like a little bit of chocolate right now. And say that it's a Wednesday. I would like a little bit of chocolate right now. And then I'd be like, maybe I'll get some when I do the groceries next week, because I do our groceries once a week. And then come grocery day making, I would have forgotten. And I didn't get at the chocolate. And then I didn't care or something of the sort. Before, in the past, just eating mixed when I was doing what is animal based, it's, I couldn't ever go a day without eating something sweet. It was very difficult, very stressful. It would make me anxious to think about. I would have to kind of, like, say today's Friday, and I'm like, all right, internal dialogue. I'd be like, all right, tomorrow we're gonna try, yes, I would be like, we're gonna try to go without sugar. And, it's just one day. The, whatever, the bananas or whatever I had there that was sweet, they're gonna be there the next day. You can have them after. Something like this type of talk. And then come the day of, the next day, in this case will be Saturday, I will be like, oh my God, it's just one day. It's just one day. It will be so stressful, and it would occupy that would be the internal dialogue. That would be my concern the entire fucking time. It was very difficult to do anything else except to worry about that. So yeah, that wasn't there anymore, and that was crazy to me. All right. Any attempt before was just extremely difficult. Could only do it for one day. Sometimes I'd be like, yeah, we're gonna do it the next day and stuff, and then the next day I would just have the fucking sweets, and that's it. But, whatever, just give it. Very, very difficult. Straight up addiction. It's crazy. And well, okay, next. Extremely easy to stop eating. Even now, when I occasionally, more often than I would like, I have something sweet like dates or chocolate or something. Because, by the way, those are the only reintroductions I'm interested in, sweets. Or the only ones that I'm experimenting with, at least. Just in general, it's very easy to stop eating. When I'm full, I want nothing else to do with food. So, I don't know if anybody experiences this, eating mixed, eating everything in moderation, quote unquote. Say that you, well, anything, but the classic example I think is you get your hamburger, you get your fries, you get your shake, for example. That's kind of like a treat in a way. I could have basically all of that. Most of the shake, I guess. I don't really remember that well anymore, all right? But that was like a classic normal meal. Or just common or a treat. I don't know, whatever. The thing is that it's, like you have really a very small percentage of protein and everything else is just some form of plant. Okay? But the thing is that I would finish that or have most of it. And even if I was aware that I was full, I would still peck at my fries, for example, or somebody else's fries, for example. Or if, the person that I was with we would be like, the classic would be like, hey, we have room for some dessert, don't we? We can have a brownie a la mode, right? And it's like, fuck yes, you can. All right. And you share that with the other person because there's somehow in this world, there is some reserved room somewhere for dessert. So the argument is that, or like the conventional argument is something about the signal for the stomach. And please tell me if you have heard this or read it, okay? The signal for the stomach to tell the brain that it is full takes about 20 minutes to get from the stomach to the brain. So eat slowly and then you will stop eating. And that never fucking worked for me. I could always have a little bit more of the fries, of the cake, of the dessert, or whatever. So now having experienced how easy it is to stop eating, I think that just sounds like crap to me. And I think there's something about eating all of the sugar, because that's basically what plants will give you, sugar. There's something in there that interferes with the signal from your stomach to the brain. It's like the signals that, from the neck down or whatever to your brain are like fractions and fractions of a second fast. It makes no fucking sense that your stomach is unable to tell your brain unless half an hour has gone by. That makes no fucking sense, all right? But whatever. I'm not a doctor, am I? I don't care, because I freaking lived it. Continue to live it in my body. Okay. Let's see. Next. I used to be unable to get out of bed unless I had an outside appointment. Right. I didn't know that I had a hard time getting out of bed. I'd never really had a problem getting up to an alarm, or, oh, I have to go to school, or I have to meet someone, or I have a job, whatever. Whatever the case may be. I do not like being late. I am never late. But then, and maybe this was more obvious with the pandemic, because, when it was declared and the lockdowns and everything, because I had stopped working. So I was having a really, 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 really hard time getting out of bed. Or, even before, if I had a day off, it was extremely difficult to get out of bed. The only reason I would end up getting out of bed was because my husband had gotten out of bed, and I was embarrassed that I was still there, like, just laying, being super shitty and groggy feeling. But now, it is so easy to get out of bed. I wake up, I really have to pee, I get up, no alarm, at around the same time every day, not a problem. And it's freaking awesome because I have shit to do, all right? But I didn't know that was an issue. Okay. Also, progressively more difficult to fall asleep and waking up at night. Now, to this day, I continue to wake up at least once a night. Most nights. But, falling asleep when I first get into bed now is consistently easy. I am out in about 20 minutes, a quarter of an hour, which is awesome. Thank the gods. Now, I have a theory, I have a speculation, that the reason for which I've been having this issue with sleep is because I think I could be in perimenopause, because I'm in my early 40s after all. So, and I mean, it's a little bit early, but whatever. It's not like out of the question or anything. But I think that's why. And I'm still working on it. Look, I'm still trying to freaking relax, calm the fuck down, this type of stuff. I've been having a lot less coffee, and I recently discovered that having a teeny tiny bit of AeroPress coffee, not a full cup, but like a teeny tiny espresso cup, perfect, no problem. It seems to be no problem so far anyway. It hasn't bothered my sleep. I think it's great because I actually happen to like coffee. Okay. Anyway, yes, with all this waking up at night and everything, you know, it kind of comes and goes. I wake up at night once usually, and I fall asleep again pretty easily, so I don't worry too much, because also the next day I again get up just fine without a single problem. Feel refreshed and calm and just ready to do shit. Okay. Able to focus on one activity and finish it. My husband was the first to notice this when I started this experiment. He was like, yeah, you're like doing stuff and finishing it and stuff. And I was like, I am, aren't I? Because I kind of hadn't noticed. Hadn't realized that it was happening. But yeah, for some reason, I don't know what it is about eating this way or whatever. You know, it might be paired with other things, which I'll talk about later, as I mentioned. It's just I'm able to focus, and it's not that I couldn't focus in the past, but say, for example, if I wanted to sit down and write something or draw, whatever, it would be difficult to get focused. I would have to just kind of sit there and look at the computer and maybe, you know, be like, oh, just kind of forcing myself and not kind of be engaged with the thing for, I don't know, like 20 minutes, half an hour. Whereas now, 10 minutes, maybe less. And I'm like immediately in it. And that is just really cool. It feels amazing. And I can just finish stuff because I can focus on things now. So that's cool. Yes. Next, skin looks really good. My husband regularly comments on it. I wouldn't say this good because I am wearing makeup and everything, but you know, actually had some kind of discoloration coming on my cheeks, like this area here, like a year ago. I don't know. It wasn't like super dark or anything, but a little bit. And it was strange. And my husband was like, "What is that?" And I was like, "I don't fucking know." And you know, I think part of menopause and perimenopause and just aging in general for people is like skin discoloration. Those are gone, which is cool. And my skin just looks pretty good in general. I mean, I'm aging, but I think I'm aging pretty okay, considering. Yes, so my husband regularly comments on how nice my skin looks, and I mean, that's cool, but just, I mean, in case you haven't forgotten, I still have seborrheic dermatitis. Like, I'm in the middle of a little situation. If you see me scratching my eyebrow and stuff, it's because of that. Okay. Can maintain trains of thought and get back to the point more often. That's also cool. I can think about one thing for longer. Whereas before I would kind of start the thought and kind of be there and then just drift away. So like if I'm trying to talk about something and I'm trying to remark a point with a little tangential story, I'll get lost in the story. And that it's not that it doesn't happen anymore, because it has, but it happens a lot less often, so then I can start heading towards the point, take a detour like as evidence for the point, and then get back to the line of thought and finish the point. I just used to lose my way in the detour or whatever, or just drift away from the point all the time. And now it just doesn't happen as often, and it's great, because I can fucking think. Okay. feeling of being, I guess these kind of go together. Let's see. Feeling of being very capable, less overwhelm, less anxiety, less procrastination. I'm gonna say the feeling of being very capable in particular, I definitely attribute it to just having been eating this way for a while because, and well, yeah, that would be paired with the feeling less overwhelmed. Because before, if I wanted to do something, because I want to do a ton of shit, right? So before, if I wanted to do something, immediately it would be kind of like, well, I don't fucking know how to do what to do that or to get to that. It's kind of like very short term thinking. It would kind of just be, if you kind of imagine yourself standing at the beginning of a path, and then at whatever distance is the goal, everything between you and the goal is thick fog. It's kind of like that. And I don't feel that way anymore. Like I can, I guess these others are also related. Easier to make decisions, easier to see paths of action. So particularly the seeing paths of action, it's kind of like, I can now think of where I can start and what steps to take on the way to getting to something that I want to do. Is there an example for that? Well, I guess taking the notes for videos, I guess. That's fucking new. So first of all, I have the example of my husband who also takes notes for just whatever he's interested in, kind of organizing in his mind. So I take the notes. I've been taking notes, and then I just write stuff down. And then once I have some good things down, I kind of start moving them around. You know how you can do that in your text file? You cut and paste elsewhere, this type of stuff, to put them in a different order. And so something like that. And then a little document develops with information that is a little more organized than before. And it's just really great. Okay. That kind of reminds me of a guide to writing essays that Jordan Peterson wrote. Maybe I'll link that in the show, in the description, because that's a great document. And I was able to actually write a pretty long document way before I tried eating this way. And it wasn't, the thing is that I was able to do it with the help of that document. So I'll put it in the show notes. Okay. Yes. Less joint pain. Oh, no, wait. All right, give me a minute. Okay, sleep-wake cycle, very stable. Yes. So I guess that kind of continues off of what I mentioned earlier, that it's very easy to fall asleep and it's very easy to get out of bed. And this is actually reinforced with Andrew Huberman's light protocol of getting sunlight. I'm generally only able to do it in the morning, but it still is very kind of like supportive for that cycle. And so it's very consistent. I have consistent energy throughout the day, get tired at around the same time at night, get up at around the same time in the morning every day, no problem. It's fucking awesome. Okay. Less joint pain. Yes, I was constantly having a sore back. And the back pain is actually something that I also anecdotally read people mention pretty often when they first try eating carnivorously. And it might be paired with having lost weight also, which is apparently very easy for people when they start doing it for that purpose. But a mention of less joint pain is pretty common as well. And my back continues to not be sore as it was before. Thankfully, I don't have many other issues. I have some other joint pain, like my wrist has been hurting, for example, for a few months now. And I think that might also be part of perimenopause, because I've read that it might be a symptom of that. But anyway, I don't know. less negative emotion. That's fucking awesome. So I think that might come along with feeling less overwhelmed, less anxious. I have way less looping negative thoughts, meaning that it just kind of repeats the negative thought over and over again, the same thing. It's like, for example, if I'm anxious about having a conversation with somebody or like some kind of a subject coming up in a conversation, there's like an imagined dialogue that I have with the person where I'm ranting at them because, whatever, it's a movie or something, I don't know. And it'll kind of loop in my mind, in my internal dialogue. But anyway, that happens way less now. And just general negativity, it's a lot easier to be positive. However, I would pair this with other efforts that I'm putting in, which, I'm gonna go over them afterwards, but it includes gratitude, a lot less time on social media, being outside. Those things, I think. Okay. Next, I have very little body odor, which is also a pretty common report, anecdotally. Very neutral breath. My turds don't smell. Well, they smell, but very little. And it's interesting because when the smell changes, it's like, all right, I had too much fat. And like the texture changes. It's like, all right, I had too much fat, for example, because it will reek. All right. Okay. Okay. Next chapter. Symptoms which are still present and why I think they are. First and foremost, dry eyes. Something that I think is occasionally anecdotally reported when eating this way is that the vision improves. And my vision hasn't gotten worse or anything, but I have a lot of risk factor for dry eyes. That is, well, my age, first of all. I took Accutane. In Panama, the one we got was called Roaccutane, but it's the same thing. I took that for like 5 or 6 years, and one of the long-term effects of the medicine, and so you can take this as a warning, years and years after you have stopped taking it, because it's been about 20 years for me, is dry eyes. Okay? Okay. If you are nearsighted, which I am, that's also a risk factor. If you have gotten LASIK surgery, that's also a risk factor for just making your eyeballs prone to being dry. So I've had all of that shit. I have all of that shit. And, I'm still nearsighted, but I can see fine at a distance because I got the LASIK surgery. I don't know if the Roaccutane or the LASIK surgery were worth it. Out of those two, I would have preferred just going with the LASIK surgery. I don't know if the Roaccutane was worth it because I don't know, whatever. The thing is that, just be aware, it has serious consequences long after you stop taking it. I'm actually really skeptical of the topical thing that people talk about sometimes, and it's like, no thanks, I'm gonna put just a freaking flaxseed mask on my face, okay? Whatever. Anyway, that is still there. My eyeballs are dry as fuck, like really dry. I have also dry lips, particularly the lower lip gets very dry, and I also attribute this to as a long-term consequence of the Roaccutane. Seborrheic dermatitis, still there. I also attribute this to the Roaccutane because before, I remember just having had dandruff. It was like greasy dandruff. And I just remember suddenly getting seborrheic dermatitis, that I went to the same dermatologist that prescribed the Roaccutane to me, and she put some shit that was like burning it off. I remember it burning when she put whatever it was on my scalp. And I was like, what's happening? And she was like, oh, it's just not normal dandruff. And I was like, okay. Anyway, the thing is that that's my conclusion. Okay. Anyway, I still have eye floaters. I still wake up at night, as I mentioned earlier, usually once, but I fall asleep again pretty easily. Uh, yes, the new unexplained joint pain, which is my wrist specifically, kind of. I remember in the first video I mentioned my elbows hurting here, and they don't hurt in the same way, but if I touch the joint now here, oh, let's see, who is this? This is the bottom of humerus, and it's the lateral epicondyle. Like to the touch, it hurts. And I mean, that had gone away, but they don't hurt the way that they were hurting before, which is where if I was like, for example, I remember it happening a lot when I was drawing because I would be drawing I draw with my elbows bent. And then if I stretched out my arm, that hurt a lot. That doesn't happen anymore, but still, to the touch, it hurts. Anyway. Okay, so the cravings are still there. And because I kind of feed them a lot more often than I should, they're still there, but they're still, comparatively, they're much more manageable to how they were before. It is possible now to go more than a day without having anything sweet. More than possible. It's like I don't have to try to convince myself at all anymore. I can just do it if I want to. Okay. Symptoms next. Symptoms which stopped and started again. First up, postnasal drip. So before, my whole life, I had postnasal drip. And when I started eating carnivorously for at least a year for sure, it stopped. And I was like, wait, I didn't even notice right away, but I wasn't doing the thing anymore. I don't know what you call that, but I wasn't doing it anymore. And I was like, what the hell, dude? And anyway, more recently, like it's been like maybe just under 6 months, I think it started again. I don't know what's causing it. I think it might be because I started having sweets, even if they're, a little better, like not as bad. It might be that, I don't know. I haven't stopped having them for long enough to really corroborate whether that is the cause or not, but, we'll see. Actually, recently I was having burger patties with bacon and cheese, and the cheese, because it's just regular store-bought cheese, was giving me heartburn. Like really low-grade heartburn, but my breath, like the smell of it changed. My husband told me, he was like, you smell weird, your mouth smells weird. And I was like, what the fuck? And I removed the cheese, and I stopped having the heartburn, and my breath went back to normal. And I think part of the reason I had the postnasal drip before was because of that. So yes, I think that might be, it makes perfect sense because like the acid irritates your larynx, and then your larynx, probably to protect itself, produces mucus, which then causes that or something like that. Anyway, that's just my theory. Well, yeah, cravings again. Again, they were pretty forgettable at first. I think my tolerance for them is a little bit lower now, meaning that even though they are much quieter than they were before, I still like occasionally be like, I need something now, even though it's kind of more like, I really want something now, a sweet or something. So yes, but still, I want to reiterate, it's a lot easier. It's like yesterday I had no sweets. Today I haven't had anything. I'm not planning on having anything. Even though there are dates, which is one of the things that I allow myself, with butter. It's fucking delicious. They're in the cupboard. I'm not gonna have them. I'm not planning on having them. It's just that in itself, even though I will occasionally indulge, it's so positive. Such peace of mind. Just more calm mind. Okay. Let's see next. What have I eaten on this way of eating? So beef. The beef that I generally have is London broil ground beef. I used to have crispy things, which is Michaela Peterson's recipe from the Lion Diet, where you get any cut of meat, the cheaper cut of meat, you put it in your crock pot. She uses an Instapot, but whatever. You put it in a crock pot until it gets really soft, and then you fry the hell out of it in tallow, and you put salt on it, and it's delicious. It's really good. Or was, because I'm just not into it anymore. Now what I've been having is the burger patties, just beef patties with bacon, and that's it. It's delicious. I've been into that for months now. So yes, bacon, cheese. I'm actually kind of laying off the cheese because again, I was having cheddar and it was giving me heartburn. But sometimes I will have brie cheese occasionally. Also, goat cheese, but I mostly don't really have cheese. Pork panko. I fucking love pork panko. It's fucking delicious. Holy crap. But it's, I haven't, I should really get pork rinds and just make them into panko at home. Because buying the jars at, Amazon or whatever is expensive. Powdered heavy cream, delicious. Raw milk, yes. It's expensive. Raw milk and raw heavy cream, especially the heavy cream, that is delicious, but, it's fucking expensive. And butter. Also tallow. Okay. What have I kept on eating because it maintained my interest and satiation? If is affordable and has no negative side effects. London broil, ground beef, bacon, smoked salmon. Oh yes, smoked salmon and duck. Holy crap. Duck is delicious. Other poultry sucks. So yeah, that's the next one. What have I stopped eating? Things I have ceased because they no longer appeal to me. Heavy cream with any additives, even the ones that have like only one, like the gel and gum, it makes my stools and my butt weird. I don't like it. And well, the raw heavy cream, I just hardly ever have it because it's so expensive and just it's a pain in the ass to try to get it. Pasteurized milk. I mean, I don't understand why we are aware that overcooking things is bad for the food we are trying to eat, but it's cool to do it for milk. That makes no sense to me, but whatever. Pasteurized milk, I react. Like, I used to be fine with it when I was, not that long ago, like, I don't know, 5 years ago, I used to be fine with it, even though I didn't really drink milk that much. But now, my stomach is gurgly, I get painful gas, I fart like crazy. Raw milk, on the other hand, no reaction. Probably because it's not cooked into oblivion. Okay, coffee. I actually haven't stopped having coffee, but I did for a while because it was interfering with my sleep for a bit there. And I was attributing it also to perimenopause. I was like, oh great, now I can't have coffee. But as I said, I discovered that a teeny tiny amount is cool. Yeah, not having as much cheese because of the heartburn. And I mean, I don't lose my shit over cheese anyway. But I like brie. And I like parmesan. I don't have canned tuna, even though I used to really like it because it is very, very heavy on my stomach. All poultry is bullshit except for duck. Chicken and turkey are insipid and dry. I don't like them. Mussel feels terrible when I bite into it. I don't like it. Fried chicken skin, though. You are welcome in my life. I like you. You're just fine. I don't care in general for pork except in the form of bacon. And sometimes, what do you call it? Hard salami, this type of stuff. But also those they have, the store-bought ones have citric acid, and it's like, it's, the tartness in them, that it just tastes like heartburn to me. So I don't really have that very often, but I like them, but I don't have them. Anyway, pork in general, I'm going to say that it's kind of generally dry and flavorless as well, except for bacon. And pork belly. but I don't have that very often. Anyway, reintroductions. The only reintroductions I'm interested in are sweets. Okay, even though, I tried having sweet potatoes and I farted again and it smelled like the past. So I'm not having that, but they were delicious. Anyway, yes, the only reintroductions I'm interested in are the sweets, dessert type stuff. I don't miss anything else because carbohydrate addiction, right? Okay. The things that I allow myself on occasion are chocolate, again, without lecithins. Dates with butter, delicious. I try to get them in the made in the, grown in the US. Occasionally, honey with hard cheese, like with Parmesan, fucking delicious. And coffee, occasionally, a little bit. Okay, next. Things I have that aren't animal derived, which are allowed. Well, I guess this is kind of a repeat of the previous one, which is basically the same things. But again, coffee, a little bit. Tea, I have only chamomile tea because we all know I need to calm down. Some spices, but I hardly ever have these. I like cumin, I like cayenne pepper, and I like Frank's Red Hot, but I seldom, if ever, have them. Again, honey, I hardly ever have that. And, well, same dates with butter and chocolates. Next, external factors which may not relate to ingested food. Keyword may not. I hypothesize that I am in starting perimenopause. So that has its own kind of stuff happening, although I've heard at least one person who happens to be a doctor say that it's eating zero carb carnivorously is really good for transitioning, makes it a lot easier. So that's cool. Sedentarism versus exercise. Time spent inside or outside, time spent on social media, cleanliness of place, and filtered water. So I guess this is kind of paired with the next chapter, which is not food ingested things which make everything better, and the experiments that I'm making. So let's go on to that, I guess. Reducing social media time. I'm planning on making a video about that, even though I'm not sure. Maybe a video is not necessary. Anyway, I'm able to go a considerable amount of time without getting on the social media, specifically Instagram and Facebook. Really specific, particularly Instagram, which is cool. At first, and this I read this in Chris Williamson's newsletter of not starting by not getting on the phone until noon. So like I used to do it, that's how I started. I would not look at the Instagram until 12:30 in the afternoon. 12:30 a.m. I don't know, whatever, noon. And then that got pretty easy until I kind of started just like by myself kind of postponing it. Then it was like, not postponing it, but then kind of like rather like forgetting to look at the phone. Then it was like 1, then it was like 2. And then I was able to go the entire weekend without looking at the phone. And like the rest of the week, it was okay to start looking at the phone at 12:30 still. Like that was still kind of the cutoff where I could start. And now I'll just go a day during the week plus the weekend without looking at the phone. It's great. Great for my mind. And the same kind of cleansing can happen in other stuff. Like on the YouTube, it's like I try to not watch certain type of videos. I try to not read certain kind of things, like stuff that get me riled up. I don't need that noise. Exercise and sunlight. So the sunlight, again, specifically Andrew Huberman's light protocol, and I'm only able to do it in the morning more often than not. I'm trying to figure out a way to do it also in the afternoon or just spend more time outside in general. The sunlight in particular really reinforces the sleep-wake cycle that I've mentioned is like pretty stable. So exercise, I do exercise every day. I go for a walk, and then I come home and I do some, calisthenics or do move around some weights. Or I take like an hour and a half and I stretch and practice splits, depending. Um, Face massage, it's incredibly relaxing. Face and scalp massage, really relaxing because again, we all know I need to calm down. Um, Occasionally or at least I guess I was doing it for a while, I was massaging my gut with the Gorgeous ball. And unexplainably again, the next day my abdomen would be a little bit platter, which I don't know, seems interesting. I'm treating my hair completely differently. I haven't used shampoo or conditioner in how long? Like 2 years maybe? I don't know how long it's been. Before that, I used to only rinse my hair and smush my scalp. And only every few months I would use shampoo. But now I don't do that. I mean, I'm planning on making a video about that on my hair care, which is cool. All the stuff that I put on my hair it's still like store-bought because I got it on Amazon or at the grocery store, but it's like stuff that I make at home, like egg yolks, which is what I wash my hair with, and a hair oil mask, which I leave overnight, which I mix myself here at home. I've been using a boar bristle brush and a wood bristle brush. And I'm using protective hairstyles, which is like, you can't see it because the camera makes my hair look very, very, very dark, but I have like a crown thing around my head, wrapped around my hair. Okay, face things. I use a flaxseed gel mask. I use rose water. I use tallow, castor oil, and some masks to take care of my skin, other than occasionally, which is about once a week, where I put the regular industrial shit on my face for makeup. I'm not looking necessarily for the clean beauty, quote unquote, stuff, because I feel like they don't have the preservatives, and I've heard here and there about funguses growing in that shit, and it's like, no, I want the preservatives because I don't want the fungus on my face, all right? And I still want to wear makeup. Not using dish detergent, except occasionally a free and clear one. But I actually only clean our dishes with baking soda and really hot water, and our clothes, I only use baking soda and vinegar. Okay, I don't use toothpaste or mouthwash. I use a tongue scraper, I use bentonite clay, and a water flosser for oral hygiene. And for like showering, I use soap with as few ingredients as I can find. Not making that yet, but I plan on someday. Okay, supplements that I've tried. I tried Keto Chow electrolyte drops at the beginning of this journey, but that didn't do shit, all right? I was getting the classical cramps. It's a pretty common effect at the beginning, at first when you're eating this way. But it didn't do anything. I was actually doing the drops, and I was doing Epsom salt baths, which are also supposed to help, and I was doing both, and it didn't do shit. Eventually, they just went away by themselves. Iodine, I got up to 6 drops of the 2% Lugol's, and I didn't feel any change in particular, so I have stopped. I did this for a few months. I was taking MSM crystals. It was originally for my hair. Supposedly it has something also to help with a joint. You'll find MSM also if you get your glucosamine supplements. They'll have glucosamine, chondroitin, and MSM. You can find the crystals. Took about for a month. I didn't notice a difference in my hair or in my joints. And I actually started breaking out. I might not have been drinking enough water, but whatever. The thing is that I stopped. Took it for about a month. I got up to a teaspoon, I think. What I'm currently experimenting with, and also the reason for which I'm mentioning all of this stuff, by the way, I should have said this earlier, is because when somebody talks about eating, carnivorously or zero carb or whatever, it gets treated as if it's some kind of philosopher's stone that solves everything. And it does help with a lot of things, but it is not magic, and there's other aspects of one's life that one should give attention to, not just food. But it's pretty significant. And I mean, like I said, there's other stuff that I've tried that I didn't, no difference, like iodine, filtered water, which I'm going to talk about in a second. Filtered water, no particular difference. But, there's the social media that I think is definitely connected, and just trying to calm down in other ways other than with the food. Doing exercise, which is helpful with your mental health, this type of stuff. A lot of the times those things do not get mentioned, and it's pretty frustrating because it really, like, again, it makes it seem like I'm doing something wrong because I'm still anxious about something. And it's just that the person talking about the way of eating is not talking about what else they're doing. There's a lot of things that result in you. So it's worth considering. That's what I'm talking about, all this makeup shit and other things. So currently experimenting with reducing plastic for food storage, food utensils, like I said earlier, the hairbrush, the toothbrush. I have a boar bristle brush toothbrush, and before that I was using what's it called? It's a stick. You go like this with the stick. It's the root of a tree or something. I don't remember what it's called, but I was trying that. I didn't like that because it tasted bad. It wasn't too bad. I just didn't care for it. And the tongue scraper. So food storage, I'm trying to get things that are glass. Just trying to reduce plastic in general. Filtering the water. New York water is actually pretty good. But the things that I'm concerned about are fluoride and byproducts of chlorination, which I don't really understand why those don't get removed, but whatever. Because it's a byproduct. It's detritus. I don't want to drink it, but whatever. I got a filter. It's called the zero water filter, and I'm trying to do that for more than 3 months because that is about the average life of the filter. Before I tried clearly filtered, which filters things that the New York water doesn't have. So I got the zero water, which does kind of focus more on what I'm interested in, which is again the fluoride and the byproducts of chlorination. Otherwise, the water is actually, apparently, it's pretty nice. But I've been drinking only filtered water, including when I make tea or when I have coffee, with the filtered water, and I can't say that I notice a really big difference, but I'm going to try to do it for more than 3 months to see if anything happens, because sometimes it takes a little longer for, I don't know, to like heal from something. Some people will say that the longer they are on like this way of eating, if they're not cheating like me, the better they feel, because if you have been basically low-key hurting yourself with something for 30 years, you can't expect the thing to heal after a month. Sometimes it takes a while for the thing to get better again. Anyway, cleaning. All right, I don't like cleaning, but it's very gratifying once I'm done. But anyway, that's one of the things that I want to discard before worrying about stuff like mold, for example. So yeah, I'm trying to clean more often the place, our apartment. I'm just trying to keep the place clean a little better. Because I guess I worry about mold, even though I don't think I have SIRS. But I don't want to breathe mold, but it doesn't make sense to me to worry about it until the place is actually cleaned, Anyway. And then temporary things. Well, I already talked about this. This was muscle cramp. This says muscle cramps and diarrhea. Yeah, you get the shits a little bit when you start sometimes. Not everyone even gets it. But it goes away, so calm down. Anyway, actually, I think that's it. How long is this? Wow, an hour. Well, if you made it this far, thank you for having watched. I'm gonna have... I said I was gonna put links in the description. There's gonna be some links in the description. I hope you found this helpful and interesting, and tell me what you think. If you're thinking of trying to eat this way, if you're like intrigued, if you are skeptical of it, you're over it, yeah, just tell me what you think. And thank you very much for watching, and please remember to like, share, comment, and subscribe, and check the video description for links with which to support my channel. Thank you again, and have a great day.